Having played all of the Call of Duty games besides the original PC version that started it all, I was quite excited to hear that Activision was bringing this classic back as a download for PS3 and Xbox 360. Back in 2003, gamers were still fighting the good fight against the Nazis. The World War II theater would last until 2007's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. After playing through the single player campaign, I have to say that the nostalgia wears off pretty fast, as there are more annoyances than anything in this game. Now, to be fair, we are talking about a 6-year-old game here. What works today is a much higher standard of gaming than in 2003. The graphics are certainly nothing to write home about. Many of the levels are sparsely populated with no destructible objects to speak of at all. The sound of gunfire and blasts from cannons is a nice touch, but a lot of the time you'll find yourself in an empty room with no ambient noise at all. As far as the story goes, you play as 3 different characters across the 22 levels that there are. One of them at the start of the game is an American. You will then move on to play as a Brit and a Russian. Essentially, you go full circle with the Allied forces. This sets the foundation for future Call of Duty titles that would follow the same premise of switching between the various different Allied nations participating in combat. It's a nice tribute to all of the men and women that served in World War II, not just the Americans. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the actual gameplay. This is one of the levels where you're attacking a chateau in the Austrian Alps, I believe. As you can see, the environment's not very destructible. There's still a good amount of detail. That's what happens when you die. So I'm still making my way through the chateau. So you can see the enemy AI is somewhat limited. They still use cover on occasion. Your allies get in the way a lot, I've noticed. They're not all that useful. Which can be a good thing, since you don't want them to do all the work for you.
Überprüfen Sie die Waffen! Bewegt euch! Keine Ladehemmung! Feuert auf mein Zeichen! Na! Good job! Alright guys, we're moving on!
And he would have died if I didn't save his ass. It's down here.
Cover me!
Or Germans.
Don't stop now! Bryce and Ingram are behind these doors! Stand back, we're gonna blow them!
as you can see, the explosions aren't all that impressive. Again, this is a pretty old game. Back in the day, it was
Well, goodness me, American.
cutting edge. Goodness me. Come
Made
on.
quite a racket, didn't you? That's quite all right. I can still walk.
Came to rescue this guy.
Captain Price, Captain Foley. Where's Major Ingram?
They moved him to a
Got
cabin.
captured by the
Don't
Germans
worry.
behind enemy
I have
lines.
heard well.
Let's go. Ah! Oh, and they throw your grenades back. Only in Nazi Germany do they use swastikas for their blankets. The load screens tend to take a long time. But anyway, the game has a good amount of variety, and as you can see in this next mission, we're going to be sniping. There are also driving missions where you're in the backseat or rear of the car shooting out windows at Germans. Yeah.
Okay, Martin. We're about ready to ram the gate. Less than 10 minutes from your first shot to pull this off. If we take any longer, they'll be sending someone to rescue us. We take out the front guards, concentrating on the machine gun nests. Once the gate is down, get in there and find the
So here I am, trying to be as stealthy as possible.
Achtung, Sie werden angegriffen. Alle Posten besetzen. Ich wiederhole, Sie werden angegriffen.
Not good.
Alle Mann auf Ihre Posten. Achtung, Sie werden angegriffen. Alle Posten.
But yeah, the AI always seems to know where you are. For no apparent reason.
Okay, Martin. We're about ready to ram the gate. Less than 10 minutes from your first
Call
shot.
of Duty Classic set the framework for future games in the franchise. It's not it's not as awe-inspiring as the more recent games, or even Call of Duty 2 for that matter. Yet it still has enough action and exciting moments to keep you interested in short periods. A lot of the time you'll get annoyed by the dated AI, imprecise aiming, and a saving system that leaves you replaying a lot of the same missions. If you can get past all of that, this is a pretty reasonable download for $15. I give Call of Duty Classic a 6.5 out of 10. You can read my full review at GameFreaks365.com. Thank you for watching.